Hello, everyone. My name's Dave, and I got a negative feedback today. Don't usually, well, I never had one on this account. I would say I'm an above average seller, getting better, that sort of thing, yada yada. So, yeah, I got a negative um, review today. The old item not as described in the listing at all type of ordeal. He also right away asked for a return. So I don't know if that's like giving me a negative feedback and asking for a return is the best way to go about things. But anyway, so yeah, it was for an item transformer. It was a loose figure that I said is not complete. It was missing parts. It was missing, the dragon parts, and it was missing a hand. I think it was missing a few parts. A loose figure is pretty valuable figure for a loose, just random, not super old toy. You know, I took, I said, look at the pictures for description. It's missing parts. I know it was missing the dragon heads up here in the top. I think it was missing like I don't know, like a foot or a hand. Oh yeah, like that paw. Um, so yeah, he said it wasn't as described. This is it when it's in its build mode. Um, that sort of thing. I mean, it looks to be fine. He said one of the legs are warped and chipped, and it's a loose figure with missing pieces. He could have reached out to me. He could have said anything. That's not the point. I would have been, more than happy to just say, hey, keep it. Here's your money back, whatever. Um, so here's what I said. Transformer Generations Power the Prime, Simmer Twin Transformer not complete. Transformers not complete. Missing at least the chest plate, gun, one animal foot, both dragon heads, may be missing other pieces. See pictures for details. Yeah, pros are probably going to say that, he should have described it better, or, I'm a generalist. I sell a little bit of everything. And, I need to do a better job if I'm going to list an action figure like this. But that's not the point. I reached out to the guy, um, sent him a message. Oh, this is the first message. He sent me all smiles and hallmarks there. He said, ship it as soon as possible so I can give you positive feedback. I said, hello, thanks. It was during the day he bought it, packing it tonight, shipping out tomorrow, well protected, which it was. So he gave me that feedback, and I reached out to him like this. I'm like, hello there, Boom Collectibles. I see you have a problem with the figure I sent you, and I get the impression that you think I'm trying to pull a quick one on you, which I was not. I think I described the toy as missing pieces and provide lots of photos. What did I miss? And I would be more than happy to accept the return. Can you please remove the negative feedback? Um, so here's the return that he asked for. He says, it doesn't match description or photos. You failed to inform in the listing that one of the legs had a warped, chipped area. I would like a return label to ship back the item. That seems like something a lot of people that do this a lot, that seems like something they would say, like rate out the book, rate out a template. So then I was starting to get a little fishy. He didn't reach out to me. He just instantly left a negative feedback and a return. And that's kind of how they do, because I've experienced this before. Uh, you know, Having different eBay accounts, selling on different sites, that sort of thing. They kind of shoot you like that. So I didn't do anything yet. That's when I start to think, maybe let's see if this guy does this sort of thing a lot. Okay, so here he is, Boom Collectibles. He's a lot bigger seller than me, a lot better. He's doing better as far as volume goes than me, that sort of thing. Um, but you can't see that on the all received feedback. He just looks like a great seller. He looks like a great person here. You look at his feedback list. It says all feedback received. He's got all great seller, great payment. That's not where you find these guys out. That's not where you find these buyer scammers out at. You find the buyer scammers out at, Here on the left for other section, you can kind of get, a better idea of um, what type of, scammer they are. You can kind of dive into details. So he just left me this today. This is a couple hours later, and I'm like 4 down. I'm right here. Item was not described and listed at all. Hey, he said the exact same thing about somebody else's probably toy. This one, he got a little creative with it. He said it arrived and damaged. This guy's getting damaged condition items left and right. This guy got another one, damaged condition. This is probably what he says after, like a denying a return. He might come at you like this. He probably switches it up as he goes. But then he's got some other ones in there. He does, mix it up because maybe he just got a killer deal, whatever it may be. But he does sometimes give positive feedback, and he is a seller too, so that's going to kind of fluff this up a little bit, because when you rate a seller, it's really nothing. I mean, maybe if you do an auction and they don't pay, but it's kind of a feedback filler when you give it to other people. So he got a whole page of nothing going on, but most of it was sales, I imagine. Then you go to page 2, and he's got a lot more negative feedback going on, and then you can start seeing other people responding to it. Like, customer made no effort. This is exactly me. Customer made no effort to contest for leaving negative feedback without filing a claim. If you check this person's feedback, they buy items on eBay, resell, they leave a lot of negative feedback for people that buy from. So, yada, yada, yada. How is this guy still on eBay if he does this like so often? He says the same thing about a lot of different things. He went in to call people scammers. He's calling people like lazy right here, but he says the same thing about everybody. If you're buying things on eBay, and you're having this many negative feedbacks, negative experiences, why would you keep doing it? Because there's a scam element involved. That's why. And maybe my guy, my action figure, was chipped or it was warped, but it's the boy who cried wolf. Definitely the boy who cried wolf, because yeah, maybe that leg was, maybe it was chipped, maybe it's warped. I don't know. No, he's the expert, so that's one thing. Now it's funny because he's given, all these negative feedbacks, right? And he's buying these loose figures, these action figures, and then what is he doing? He's selling loose action figures, okay? He's buying them, ripping people off, reselling them, I think, from the way it's looking. So you go dive into one of these things, right? He says my item was not described, that sort of thing, failed to mention. So you look at his generic descriptions. My descriptions are always freehand, which is probably not smart. It takes a lot more time, that sort of thing. So yeah, I'm not the best seller, but I would say I'm pretty average. But anyways, I'm not trying to make it seem like I'm some good seller or nothing, but so what you see here in the pictures will be exactly what you'll be receiving. If you have any questions, then feel free to ask me before making a decision. I highly encourage that you ask for any details whatsoever regarding listing, and I'll respond as soon as possible. I unfortunately do not offer internet shipping and do accept returns. So he's basically going after other people for stuff that he doesn't do. Like, he doesn't describe this leg really that much at all. There's not much to describe. But he says, look at the pictures and ask questions. Why didn't he do that with my figure or everybody else's figure? You know what I mean? He doesn't do returns, and he always wants a return. So he doesn't do returns, but he expects everyone else to do returns. He says it's not as described. This guy doesn't. This guy does this same description on every listing, maybe, possibly. And that's not much of a description. The generic descriptions are my worst. I'd rather have somebody write down 2 sentences like I did than get this, because this is boring. People don't want to read it. Whatever. That's just my opinion. And what else was I gonna say? So yeah, he never asked me anything about the figure. I barely described the item, and he says it wasn't as described. Like there was no description really, so could have asked me some questions because he apparently that's how he does his business, is field questions, but he failed to ask everybody else questions. So that's pretty funny. So I'm not definitely going to do the return yet because I have I wanted to reply and request a revision, but I already reported him. That was before I got really deep into his into his his feedbacks that he leaves for others. So yeah, I just don't know how this guy's still around, just out here just scamming people left and right. I mean, he probably gets away with it, but if I were to do something on eBay, um, and got in trouble for it, like I've heard you can get banned for like 10 days, 20 days. You can get your whole account removed. And that's if you do something that you don't even know that was a rule or not. And if I were to do something, yeah, I would expect to be, have some type of punishment. And then I would learn from my mistakes and hopefully not do it too often or again. This guy's just going out here throwing fire and heat at everybody. And how is eBay just letting it go on? Like, why would you keep buying with all these negative, experiences you're having? Wouldn't you give it up? So it's just, I hope other people reported him. I just hope they do something about it this time. Because he's scamming people. He does obviously do a good job selling it, but he's getting it cheap for ripping other people off, and I don't think it's good for eBay, for sellers. And I definitely learned some things. Like I need to do a better job describing even broken or listed as parts for parts only, as is. I need to get a template myself, but I don't like templates when I see these listings. So it's a double-edged sword, but I would just wanted to rant. Hopefully you guys can block this guy because I'm going to. Hopefully I don't have to pay this guy any money because I was just going to give him a return. I would have gave him a refund, but he gave me that negative feedback, and I think what he expects people to do is he'll do this, give you negative feedback, and then he's hoping that you just give him a refund for saying I'll do that for removing the negative feedback. So I think that's his whole angle on that ordeal. One more thing I just remembered. He says he responds to questions fast. His response times are like through the roof. And I reached out to him. This is hours ago. Still ain't heard from him. So he just goes against the grain on everything he preaches. I'm just hoping eBay just figures this guy out. Like, he burned one person too many. Yeah, he does a good job fulfilling orders and making buyers happy, but he's burning sellers, and that's just wrong. So that's my rant, and that's it.